Once upon a time in the past, the most powerful thing that you could do in a video game was nothing. Not shooting, not sprinting, not chasing an objective, just waiting, watching a guard's patrol route, listening to footsteps, studying your environment, and when you finally made your move, it felt earned. But somewhere along the way, as more and more stealth games became to come out, video games stopped rewarding your patience, and it started to punish it. Today, speed is king, action is constant, and the slower, more methodical style of play that once defined entire franchises has almost completely dissipated. So what the hell happened? Why did stealth games, one of the most immersive, thoughtful games in gaming, slowly die out? And what exactly did we lose when they did?
You're pretty good.
Snake? Snake?
Stealth games weren't just about sneaking around, they were about respecting the player's intelligence. Games like Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid, even the original Assassin's Creed games, they defined an era. They didn't treat you like an action hero, they treated you like a problem solver. Every room was a puzzle, every enemy was a variable, and every shadow was an opportunity to make your mark. And the game didn't rush you to do so. It let you observe and plan and execute. You weren't reacting, you were thinking about what your next move was gonna be, and that's what made these games special, because the tension didn't come from explosions or scripted chaos, it came from the fear of making a mistake. One wrong step, one missed camera, one guard that you didn't notice around the corner, and everything falls apart. The mission's blown. Everything that you worked for up until that point is ruined.
We've been compromised. What did you do? What did you do? Did you hit a baby? Why the would you do that?
That's real tension, that's real immersion, that's something that you don't really get anymore in modern gaming because it's quietly moved away from that. Because today, most video games are designed around constant engagement, movement, action, feedback loops, hit markers. The moment a player stops pressing buttons, the game risks losing the player altogether. And stealth is built on the exact opposite philosophy.
Occupation scan. Enemy surveillance has eyes on the area. Go prone.
It wasn't that long ago, maybe 10 years ago, where the next big stealth game was the one that you were hoping to see be displayed on E3 or at State of Play or Comic-Con or a PlayStation showcase or an Xbox showcase.
You walk a path few would wish.
That's the only one I know.
But it's not like stealth games just disappeared for no reason. It's because the industry changed altogether, and in a lot of ways it makes a lot of sense why. Modern video games are built around retention, accessibility, and scale. They're designed so that any player can jump in them and feel powerful immediately. And stealth games don't do that. It's also the reason why you probably don't see as many story mode games today. Do the audience members and the players who pick up the controller to play these games, do they have the attention span in the modern era to sit and digest and enjoy a story? That's why I don't think you see as many Spider-Man games coming out or as many God of War games coming out. Back 10 years ago, you couldn't throw a dead cat without hitting a AAA game, and a lot of the big ones were stealth games. Like I said earlier, you're waiting for the stealth games in those big video game showcases, like your E3s and your PlayStation and your Xbox showcases. Stealth games ask you to fail, and they ask you to be patient. They ask you to learn systems before you feel competent. And in a world where players have thousands of options, that's a risk. So developers started to shift. Stealth became optional instead of required. Metal Gear Solid 5 gave you guns a-blazing as a viable path, and Splinter Cell Blacklist added aggressive playstyles. Even franchises like Assassin's Creed slowly drifted from social stealth to open combat RPGs. Hell, even the new Assassin's Creed games aren't even about assassins anymore. Let's be honest.
Odin is with us!
That is because the data just simply showed one thing, and that's that most players don't play slow. They play fast, they play improvised, they want action. And when studios invest hundreds of millions of dollars into the game, they designed for the majority, so stealth didn't just die, it got absorbed into action games as a side mechanic, a tool, instead of the identity. And in doing that, it lost what made it special. But like I said, it's almost as if it's being weaned out completely at this point. The game developers don't really care. It's not respected to be stealthy in video games anymore, and that's because the game developers, like I said, they're painting to the majority. They're at the blackjack table and they aren't playing risky. That's just not how they're going to do things.
It says here we should work in teams. Who wants to be my spotter?
I don't think you should be doing too much gambling tonight, Alan.
Gambling? Who said anything about gambling? It's not gambling when you know you're going to win. Counting cards is a foolproof system.
It's also illegal.
It's not illegal. It's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane.
But here is the truth. And that is, stealth didn't fail because players didn't want it anymore. Stealth faded away slowly because the industry stopped trusting players to slow down. Because when you look at the moments people remember the most, it's not always the explosions, it's the tension. It's hiding under the table in Alien Isolation, holding your breath. It's crawling through the snow in Metal Gear Solid, waiting for the perfect moment. It's lining up to that one perfect silent takedown in Splinter Cell. Those moments stay with you because they require patience. They require focus. They made you feel like you earned your success. And in gaming landscapes today, that's built around speed, dopamine, and constant stimulation, these slower, more thoughtful experiences stand out more than ever, which is why every time a modern game leans back into those ideas, players notice, they talk about it, they remember it, they stick out a little bit more. Because deep down, we don't just want to feel powerful, we want to feel smart. We want to feel like our choices mattered. We want to feel like we solved something, and stealth games at their best, in their prime, gave us that feeling better than any other genre. So maybe the stealth genre didn't just die out, maybe it's just waiting for developers to trust players again, waiting for players to slow down again, because the moment a game finally says, take your time, watch, learn, think, there's a whole audience ready for it. But the question is, at the end of the day, are we patient enough to wait for it to come back? Let me know what your favorite stealth games of the past were. Let me know if you wish stealth games would come back more prominently today. I can't remember a video game that I played that utilized stealth really at all. Like Spider-Man 1 on the PS4, they used stealth. And then in Spider-Man 2, they kind of weaned out most of that pretty much altogether. It was in it in some capacity, but it was just a tool. I already talked about Assassin's Creed a couple times on the channel, how much that has pissed me off and the way that that franchise has gone. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It really does help a lot. You guys have no idea. Click subscribe and then click the notification bell so you never miss a video and you see what kind of crazy shit we're doing in the future. But yeah, leave a comment. A like, subscribe, notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, love, adios, and bye-bye.